So how to repair a noisy Kenwood fridge freezer, having established that the noise is coming from the freezer compartment. This is for the home DIY enthusiast. First of all, you need to identify the model of the fridge freezer, and this is located in the bottom compartment of the fridge. And in this case, the model is a KFF2DS14, but the replacement part is compatible with other units. And here's a photograph of the actual replacement motor unit, and is readily available online as a spare part. But you'll need to get the motor out first to confirm this before ordering the new one. When the parcel arrives in the post, this is what you get inside the box. Always isolate the power to the fridge freezer before doing any jobs. Then remove the shelves and remove the plastic cover. And this is held in place by lugs and a single self-tapping screw. Next, remove the two self-tapping screws that lock the motor housing in place, and be careful not to drop them down the back of the inside of the unit. And at this stage, you can remove the whole of the assembly from the freezer, but I chose not to do that. I found that in this situation I could get the fan out with the motor and then start to remove the cable assembly. It simply unclips, you put it back through that plastic housing there, and then feed the cable from behind the bracket. And here's a picture of what it looks like on the other side. And to remove the fan, carefully prise away the spring retaining clip. And then with a couple of spanners you can lever the fan off the spindle. You should then be able to pull it apart with your hands. This is the back plate that we need for the next part of the process. And when comparing the two motors side by side, you can see here the new one, the spindle's well and truly fixed as it should be, and the old one is extremely loose due to the failed bearing, and we'll come back to that later on. Next, remove the black rubber insert, and then give things a good clean before replacing it with a new insert. The motor can now be mounted back onto the mounting plate. But looking at the original fan versus the new fan was much smaller. I didn't know if this was an upgrade or a modification, and so in this video I've fitted both fans, and I think the bigger one is better. And you can probably buy the motor alone for about £20 and save yourself a tenner. Again, give things a good clean wherever possible, then it's time to fit this assembly back into the freezer. So you've got to carefully pull the plug and route it behind the bracket on the right hand side through the hole at the top of the housing. And next, just lightly press the two lugs back into position and you'll hear the motor clip itself into place. Plug in the cable and then just check the routing behind that plate to make sure everything's clear. Then you can re-screw everything back together with the two self-tapping screws. Finally, double check everything's all clear. The cable's got a good routing, and you should be good to go. So it's just a case of turning the power back on. If you press the door switch on the left hand side, you can make the fan come on, but it might take a moment or two for the system to fire up. But in the end, I opted to fit the original factory fan. It's much bigger, and it does noticeably push a lot more air. But I hope this video gives you that option to make up your mind as to which one you'd like to fit. Then you can fit the vent cover back into the freezer compartment. It should click back into place, and it's finally fixed with that one self-tapping screw. And finally, what was the problem? Well, if we take this back plate off the motor housing, we can see here that the brass bush has actually worn out. And when the fan is spinning at over 1400 revs per minute, it causes the fan to vibrate, which then results in that horrendous grinding sound. But anyway, I hope that this video has helped you to fix your broken freezer. And thank you for watching.